Well, it's a new start, isn't it? Because obviously there's no more fantastic rugby league show. And look, I've obviously decided to, I guess, move that on and bring in a podcast. Now, this isn't really the official start of the podcast. I mean, it's the introduction basically, but I will be going through reasons why I did get rid of the fantastic rugby league show, and also why I decided to bring in a podcast. So yeah, look, obviously I had a lot of support behind the Fantastic Rugby League show. I've had it for over a year now. Obviously people seem to really like it because obviously I answer people's topics every week, and I also, I guess, it was interesting for some people, but it's not like really that. It's mainly because of the views. I feel like the views are too inconsistent. I mean, there was one week where I might get 110 views, or there might be one week I might get 70 views or like 80 views. Like it kept going up and down, up and down. So, I couldn't really deal with that anymore because I want the show to go well and be consistent. I want my viewers to enjoy that sort of stuff, like the show, and that's what I'm talking about basically, the show, and that's what I want people to enjoy. But and look, no, I think people did enjoy it, but I feel like, going in a different direction with a podcast instead, I think will benefit a bit more from my channel, especially because with a podcast, you can expand it, I guess, out to other media outlets. I mean, I think on Spotify, you can also, I guess, try and expand it out there. I think you can, yeah, I think with a podcast, it just gets out to more people than a little show I created last year in April. So look, it was not a tough decision. I mean, if you're wondering if it was tough to get rid of the Fantastic Rugby League show, not really. But in some cases it was, because obviously a lot of people did like the show. A lot of people thought it was good, and look, I certainly thought the same. But I just think that the views, and also feel like with a podcast, would really suit my channel, because I'm obviously, currently 1,160 subs or something like that, I'm pretty sure. And I think usually with bigger YouTubers and I guess bigger people like myself on YouTube, with especially rugby league stuff, I think a podcast usually looks very professional in my opinion. So I guess maybe, yeah, that's another reason why you can probably think of me bringing in a podcast. I think it's more professional than a little show I just made up, pretty much. But not everything lasts forever, as we know. So I guess, I gotta hope the podcast goes well. Hope people are gonna enjoy that, because in the podcast, I think, it's gonna be a bit different. It's gonna be where I talk about a lot of NRL things, related things. It's like there's gonna be no more topics. Like, the topics are done. That's all done now. But what I will be doing is I'll be talking about things like re-signings. I'll be talking about, where potentially I could see some players who are currently on the free market, where I can see some players going who are currently, I guess, a free agent. And I talk about maybe some players, or what I like about the round, because obviously every Monday I'll do this. Like I mentioned in my thumbnail, if you can see, it said 5:30 p.m. every afternoon. So that's basically where, I guess, every afternoon I do talk about the round of footy, because obviously it's the day after the round of footy ends. So I guess I can just recap it a little bit with my thoughts on most games and what I liked about the round and what I didn't like. So I guess that's another thing to kind of, I guess, add in with the podcast. But overall, I just think a podcast will benefit my channel more, and I feel like it'd be a bit more successful than the Fantastic Rugby League show. That's only my opinion. But another thing to also mention about the podcast is I'll be getting many guests on. So, I guess I'll get many other YouTubers on, like, Nick from Australia, Warriors NRL Fanatics, maybe Rugby League History is available. Just those sort of YouTubers I can definitely get on in the future. And I guess I can get some fans on if they really want to come on, because I've got Instagram, I've got Twitter. I'll link in my Instagram and Twitter in the comment section, no, in the description down below. So I guess if you have any of those stuff, you can just message me there if you're ever keen on, I guess, being a special guest on the podcast when I do officially start doing it more next week, because this is just an introduction to the podcast, but it officially starts next week when I really get into it. But yeah, look, I hope this goes well. I hope you all enjoyed it as well. But yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But all I can hope for is that it's something that people will enjoy, and it'll be very interesting for many people. My new podcast to come up with the Tryline Podcast. It's called the Tryline Podcast. It's a very catchy name because especially I talk about rugby league stuff. So I thought the Tryline Podcast would be a great idea and a great name, especially to fit in it as well. So, but that brings it into it. I hope you all found this video interesting and you enjoyed it, because obviously it's a new start for my channel with the podcast. So I thought this would be good. But yeah, thanks for watching, and like, comment, and subscribe as always if you're new. And I'll catch you in another video.